On this week's episode of the CVG Off the Record podcast, we talk about the Titanfall controller and our favorite gaming merchandise, discuss Steam Early Access as well as our experiences with DayZ and Rust, and look forward to next month's big games, including The Wolf Among Us Episode 2, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, and Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the CVG Off the Record podcast. My name is Tamoor Hussain and I am joined in the studio by Andy Robinson.
Hello.
Chris Scullion.
Sup.
And a new voice, CVG's resident video troublemaker, Gav Murphy.
Hello. Is it only 6 you've done of these? It seems like you go on about it so much that it feels like
I cringe every time he mentions it by number.
Yeah.
Like, is it definitely the 6?
It's definitely 6. I always check it. And I listen to enough podcasts where they spend about 20 minutes trying to remember what number it is that I noted down beforehand. But if you don't count the Game of the Generation podcast, this is number 6.
Which makes us like number 26.
Yeah, technically it's 11, but yeah.
Yeah.
So let's kick off this week with the big news. Huge news. I don't know if you guys know it, but there is a Titanfall controller coming out.
Shit.
Is that huge news?
It is massive currently.
I could
all
not
the
give
news.
less of a shit about that.
From all the talk before this podcast about your passion for novelty mugs.
Yeah, mug, fair enough. Not
So
a
if they
controller.
brought out a Titanfall latte cup, you'd be all over that shit.
Although actually, I've still got my Resident Evil 2 controller, my PS1 controller. You know, the one they
chainsaw?
released.
Is that
for
the
that?
chainsaw?
No, not the chainsaw. The Resident Evil when it came out for 2.
Oh,
when
2.
2 came
2.
out, and it was like it was a specialized for Resident Evil thing. So like run and dash were in a special
I
place,
remember.
and
Oh,
like
nice.
trigger was an actual trigger. It's an amazing controller for playing
Yeah.
Resident Evil,
remember
but
that.
only for playing Resident
Yeah.
Evil. That's the
Nothing
thing. You couldn't
else.
play anything else with it. But I've
So-
still got that. It's pretty good.
Is that your most prized possession in terms of gaming?
Yeah, I reckon so. I think
Yeah.
like tat or controllers.
Wait, like gaming peripheral tie-in
I tell you, my
memorabilia,
favourite
whatever.
controller, which I still have back in Scotland, is when they brought out Wu-Tang Taste of Pain on
Oh,
PlayStation,
that-
and it came with a Wu-Tang shaped controller.
Yeah, I
with the
remember
logo.
that.
It
That
was,
thing
it was
is
so uncomfortable
hideous.
to play, but it was fucking. It's just like a big Wu-Tang symbol with buttons on it.
I remember wanting it, but then not buying it because I realized that I probably wouldn't be able to play the game that it's made for. On
Yeah,
it.
it's
So I
so
decided,
it's so
no, I'm not buying
uncomfortable to
that.
play, but it looks amazing.
I've got the Hotline Miami jacket that Insert Coin Clothing did. I wear that every single day.
That's hardly something to be proud of. Like,
That's awesome.
about 1 billion people probably have that.
Well, no, I've never seen anybody else wear it, and if I did, I would beat them up.
Take
Like,
it off, take the
proper-
clothes
on
off.
the-
proper
uh,
Hotline Miami style.
On the nerdometer,
Yeah.
that's almost as close as Scullion's new Mario bed covers.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I got them as a
You're a
Christmas
married
present.
man.
I saw that and I thought, how the hell does he get away with that?
Well, that's it. There's a lot of bargaining. I just basically said, "Look, I got these as a present." I says, "Come on," and she went, "Yeah, all right, fair enough." I was like,
You didn't really get them from as a present, did
"No,
you?
no, I
There
genuinely
is no
did.
Uncle Phoebus.
Yeah, he spent all his
mailed it
stars
to
on
himself.
it. His Club Nintendo stars on it. It's like, yeah, it's a present from,
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
from Mario.
as if something as awesome as that would end up on Club Nintendo.
It's a very good point.
Although that Luigi's Mansion statue was genius.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Diorama.
that.
Yeah, on Club Nintendo.
How much is it? Probably about
It's
4
very-
Wii U's,
I had to spend all of my stars, which is like
Yeah.
6 years worth of stars.
Yeah.
It was like 7,000
I
stars.
got 7,000.
Oh, he's probably gone now, to be
Good
honest,
for you.
mate.
Piss.
The thing about the Club Nintendo is they put like one thing that's worth buying on it every 2 years.
Yeah,
Then
they've got
everyone
about 5
buys
of them.
it, and then you
Yeah.
have to wait another
Yeah.
2 years.
I bought the SNES Wii controller and I didn't realize like I was not into like Club Nintendo stuff, and then I went onto the website and it's like you need stars. I was like, fuck these stars things all about. And then I noticed that they were in every game, and at the time I worked at Game, so whenever pre-orders would come in, like people trading in their Wii and DS games, I used to teeth the shit out of those stars. So, but I got enough stars to buy the controller within a day.
I only
then-
did, it's quite satisfying to do it like that because I only signed up for Club Nintendo maybe
It's not satisfying. It takes
6
fucking
months
Pain in
ago.
the ass. You have to fill
No,
a
but
survey.
then
in.
instead of going, oh, right, I've only got like 500 stars, I need like 7 million for this. I only signed up about 6 months ago, so I just went through like, 10 years worth of DS and like Wii games.
Yeah.
I tell you what's satisfying. It's in a similar vein. When you buy a second-hand game from CEX or somewhere like that, and it's like a limited edition one that comes with download codes, and you're almost certain those codes are going to be used, and then you type them in just for the hell of it, and they haven't been used, and you think, what silly prick didn't use those codes?
Last time I went to CES and bought something from CES, it was a GameCube. I couldn't find my GameCube, so I was like,
they're
let's go
cheap,
buy
aren't they?
one. And then they were like, it was like 10 quid.
You couldn't find your GameCube.
Yeah, I know. I put it away somewhere, but now I found it, and now I've got 8 of them in my
Put it
house.
away in a cube shaped
So
box.
I went and bought one just because I was like dying to play.
That's
Smash
an
Brothers.
interesting talking point. Who's got the most of the same console?
I
Ooh.
actually have 8 GameCubes.
8
GameCubes.
GameCubes.
Yeah.
Why?
I
That's
don't know. They
mad.
just came to me from here and there. I think I got a couple from here. Like
Well,
there
you
was a
just
point where we
robbed.
were throwing away GameCubes, and I was like, I can't see that console.
You'd
get
be on like
thrown away.
Ultimate Hoarders or
Well,
something.
that
like
conversation didn't last as long.
You
as
can't.
I-
Can you
I've got
count?
8 GameCubes.
I ain't
I've
got
got
8
4
GameCubes.
PSPs.
Why?
These days, you know what it is? A lot of them, like PSPs,
You need to start looking for stuff better, right? And not giving up.
First-
I'm
the
going
first
to
one-
CEX.
the first
'cause I
one.
feel like playing
It's
Valorant.
on- it's- it's- I think it's under the
in
bed.
Africa who have no
Yeah.
PSP.
So I can't find my PSP. I think it's under the bed. Fuck it, eBay.
Yeah. I felt really
I've
lazy.
done that. You know what? I do that a lot. When I can't find something, I look
Yeah.
at how cheap it is to buy it.
Any
Yeah.
shipping requests? Bring it to my bed.
I felt really lazy like a couple of years back because I wanted to watch at Christmas time. I wanted to watch Scrooge, and I know I have Scrooge on DVD, but I couldn't find it on my fucking giant shelves. So instead of doing that, I think I paid like $2.98 to watch it on demand on Virgin, and then found it like
do you know what?
10
though?
minutes later.
That's a completely different argument. Like you could accredit £2.98 to effort. Like I would pay £3 for someone else to find me the DVD now.
Yeah, it winds people up because like I've got something daft, like just over 1,000 DVDs that are not alphabetized. And it's just like I've moved them. I counted them when I moved last time. I was like, I've watched one of these in the past 5 years, and that's Step Brothers, which is just watched constantly, and it's always by my PS3.
That's my vice is DVDs and now Blu-rays. Like when I was at uni, I blew all my student loan on DVDs, and like the loan would come in like once every few months, and I'd just go straight to HMV and just fucking empty it, and then sit in poverty for the next 3 months with like surrounded by shit horror DVDs.
Never been a DVD man.
Yeah,
Like there'd be say 30 films that I'd say are my definitive favourite films, and I'd make sure I own them, right? So I've rebought them on Blu-ray and stuff. But the thing about DVDs for me is that how many films are there out there that you're willing to watch twice, or then maybe 3
loads,
times?
And there's a
So you
collection
buy Star
element,
Wars
though.
again, and you buy like Godfather again, and stuff like that.
Mm.
It's not the same as games where you go out and buy a physical thing, knowing you're probably going to like it, and it's your first experience. You wouldn't go out and buy loads of like old games, would you? Because you've probably seen
I don't
these
know.
films in the cinema.
how
That's
many-
the point.
Because that's the thing. I as soon as I'm finished with a game, I'm getting rid of
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Like, do you have?
So you imagine
do
if
you
you
have
played
games
that
in your
game
house?
in a cinema.
I have a room full of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like top to bottom games.
I've got a room.
But
as well,
but is it kind of more of a pride in being a film buff of things that if you've watched a film, you put it on the shelf and it's like that's a record of part of
Yeah,
your
when people
movie
come
watching
around and
history.
they see it, they're like, "Oh, this guy's a very smart."
Well, think-
Yeah,
well,
but-
well, think-
Why has
well,
Gav got
films-
3 copies and never been kissed?
because such a wider range
That's a
of
good ass
people.
film.
Well, because such a wider range of people watch films, when people come to your house and see your DVD collection, they can tell what sort of a person you are. But if they look at your game collection, they might not know because he's got DJ Hero plus he's got fucking
Oh, he's got Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah. This man is an assassin.
I don't buy DVDs at all, but I'll buy like weird things, like shit films. Like
Dildos.
I bought Street Fighter, the Van Damme one,
Nice.
not dildos, Van Damme one for $0.01 on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Because it was a misprice at a game where I worked, and I was like, I'm having that. No one else is having that.
That's all right.
So
It's
I've
an
got
amazing
that.
film though.
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. But then like other stuff, sometimes I'll buy like box sets. That's what I'll buy, box sets. So like I've got Akira or special editions.
Yeah.
I've got Akira special edition of that, Blade Runner, the Vengeance trilogy. That's about it really. Saving Private Ryan. That's about it.
What were we talking about?
Talking about
Gaming tab.
Yeah. So I've got 8 GameCubes,
8 gaming cubes.
4 PSPs,
Fuck's
3
sake.
PlayStation 2s.
And no Uyas.
Two PlayStation
So no,
1s.
let's
This
revise
is
this.
what happens,
Let's
right?
revise this. How many of those did you purchase?
I purchased 2 GameCubes.
Right.
Rob 6 from Future.
2. No. These are what happens.
If
is,
you're
this is what
listening.
happened. Right, firstly, you told me to take these out of here, otherwise they're gonna get thrown away. So I did that 7 times. And then what happens is I bought 2 PSPs. one PlayStation and one PlayStation.
We should only include ones that we've
Yeah.
purchased.
And
Yeah.
and then what happens is other people will buy one, and then over time they find, all right, I'm done with this now, and they'll just give it to me.
At which
I've
point?
got 3 GameCubes, and I've got that Panasonic GameCube as well.
Yeah.
which
Wait a minute.
was an arsehole
I'm
bought.
just being a bit Phoenix right here. You bought you bought a GameCube for a
Objection.
tenner at CEX.
Yeah.
How many did you have at that point?
I
'Cause you
don't know
must have had
they're
more
all
than-
in storage. That's the thing. Like they're in
What
a
storage?
box. They're
Like
in a
underneath
box
the
in
ground, just in
cellar.
case.
No,
So
I've got
so
a
so,
cellar
so it
full
wasn't
of
a case
shit.
that you couldn't find your GameCube.
play
I couldn't
Super
find
Monkey
any
So
game
you,
like
you
forever.
couldn't find
My
one of your
entire
6
game-
GameCubes.
Yeah, my
around.
game console collection was like hidden somewhere in the back of my cellar. So I was like, I don't know.
That's amazing.
Big
That
as
you
your
can't,
cellar, like a
you
Fritzl
can't
dungeon.
find. That's amazing when you can't find.
More Hussain,
The
Joseph
point-
Fritzl of the
The
gaming
point
world.
of this story was like I bought a GameCube from CEX for a tenner, and inside was Double Dash.
That's
and
definitely the very
Okay,
definition of a
good.
first world
No,
problem.
that's
That
good.
a first world problem that you can't find your 6 GameCubes, so you have to buy a 7th
right.
one.
I'm sure I've got a load of N64s.
I have
But
a
then there's
couple of
reason to do that
N64s.
because I'd have different region ones. I've got like an American one,
Yeah.
a UK one, and a Japanese one.
I-
I've got that
I've-
disgusting Pokemon one.
I was more a
Oh man, that thing's
yeah,
hideous.
I was more
Yeah.
a colour collector, so I had a black
Yeah.
one and that green see-through one and stuff
But
like
if you're a
that.
colour collector, there were some awesome GameCube colours. Like
Mm.
between
I
me
really like
and
the orange ones out there.
yeah,
that.
they
Yeah.
only released those in Japan as well, so they're awesome. There's a silver one.
one of
so
those is
they're
actually
pretty
mine,
sweet.
by the way. One of those, the stack of that. So I've got 9 GameCubes.
So there's a black
Using
and
future as
indigo.
storage.
John, what's the rarest GameCube colour? They brought out a few limited editions in
The
Japan.
rarest one
It's
is
like a chive.
the rarest one.
Yeah, there's like a chive symphonia.
I think
Wow.
the rarest one is
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's the Hanshin Tigers, the baseball
Yeah,
team
yeah,
that
yeah,
has
yeah.
their logo on it. And it's
That was
got
all
like
over the place. It looks like a
Awesome.
Newcastle, like Geordie GameCube.
I've got my footrest underneath my desk is a Panasonic 3DO, which is
Hey, Mike Jackson's got the Panasonic one.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah,
I
the
think it's pretty. Oh, you've got one.
Yeah. I bought
sweet.
it with my
Those are
student loan. Yeah.
the queue.
Yeah.
Nice.
Put in that student loan to work.
Yeah.
Actually, this is what happens when I was at uni. I got a student loan. Entirety of it had to go on books because the books were so expensive. So
What did you do?
I did law, so it's like
okay.
all these books, ancient books, just impossible to find online. You have to buy them legit. I couldn't
Well, it's
find
fine
any
because you're using
PDFs.
your degree, aren't you, in your everyday life?
Yeah, I
Right.
guess.
Play Phoenix, right?
Right, in,
On- on-
writing
on the
stories
subject
about
of,
Borderlands 2 DLC. Well,
On the subject,
Fucking hell, you're really making me feel good, innit? If my mum listens to it, she's gonna be like, "Yeah, that kid, he
Yeah,
knows.
Tamoor, you
He
prick.
knows."
sorry. I'm not sorry.
I think we've digressed now.
What were we
No,
talking
I was
about?
gonna say Andy's got an awesome collection of Zelda games, haven't you? You were talking about
Yeah,
this last
yeah,
week.
no. So I've been to Japan twice now. Like, just as holiday, because obviously everyone has to have a
Bragging, man.
pilgrimage.
I didn't even been
And
once.
when it was the first time I went out there, it was about 2008 maybe, and that was on the cusp of the games industry kind of properly shifting towards the West. Like all the awesome game stuff now is basically made in the West, whereas when we were growing up, we would have like fantasized about going to Japan and
Exactly,
having
yeah,
awesome, cool shit.
Mm.
So I got there fully ready to get all the awesome, cool shit. What can I get? It's like, oh, not much really.
Yeah.
All out your games are made in Redmond now. Like you can get like you can
You need to
get
go to
like
Vancouver for
you
that
can
shit,
get
man.
Deus Ex Human Revolution with Japanese subtitles if you want. No
Brilliant.
thanks. So I just started buying old shit. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
brought up all the old Zelda games. Mint.
One of my prized possessions is the Street Fighter you bought me from Japan.
That's
Just
Is
like
it
an
mint? I
original.
can't remember.
Yeah, it's mint, like untouched. It's just I've
They
got it there
they
in a
look after their
shrine.
stuff.
Yeah,
That's
They look
amazing.
after their stuff.
my
Like
collect.
shops and shops of mint condition for like I can't. But I've got Zelda 1 right. Famicom. What's that? 1986. It's brand fucking new.
Yeah.
Brand new. Like it's shiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like, it looks like a reprint. It's just like
It's-
untouched.
Yeah.
To be
Awesome.
fair, some of them
Oh, like
do actually get found in the back of a warehouse.
Mm.
Like there are some. I remember going out there in some of the super potato shops. They'd have a section where it's like, yeah, we've just found these in a warehouse, like Donkey Kong Country or something, like
Yeah.
brand actual new.
yeah.
But the majority is just really well looked after. I mean,
Japan for you, innit?
I'd love to
Very
go there. I
neat
think if I
people.
went there, I'd
Spend all your
just
money.
spend
Didn't
all
you spend
my
all your
money.
money? You didn't have any money to get back. or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
that's
that?
right. I went to. no, that's true. This is my first. This sounds like a made-up story, but 100% true. The first time I went to Japan, it was with THQ to see the WWE game on Wii,
Yeah.
which wasn't that good. But Yeah, and one day everyone just said, right, just go your own way and go wherever you want. So I said, I'm going straight for Akihabara because that's that, like you say, when you're young, that's the dream place you want to go because that's the one you read about in the magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went there and found that Super Potato Shop where they do all the retro games and just fucking, you imagine someone just putting their arm on a shelf and going, just empty the shelf. That was basically me. So I stocked up on all these Famicom games and some Space Channel 5 on Dreamcast with a big kind of shiny cover, and I was, that's just amazing. We're getting all this shit.
Awesome.
And then spent, like, pretty much checked my pocket, see how much money I had, and spent it all on that. And then realised I didn't have money to get a train back to my hotel. And my hotel was like the other side of Japan, the other side of Tokyo even. The other side, I was like, fuck. And it was literally a case of finding money on the streets. Seriously, that's the bit that sounds, it was literally like finding coins
sell,
on
like,
the road.
Mario covers.
When you
or
return
something.
one of those games.
No, but I didn't speak Japanese. I just like come back and go, yeah, I don't want this, mate. That doesn't work. So
Yeah.
it was literally hours spent walking around Akihabara looking on the floor for coins, and that was the most miserable experience
With
of
a
my
bag
life.
full of awesome
Exactly.
Nintendo games.
So you were in,
I finally scraped together enough for a single train ticket back to Shibuya, which is where the hotel was. And I went to the hotel and realised I had no more money. So I went and asked the woman at the bank, I says, I've got this fucking shitty Switch card. I think it was Switch at the time.
How old are you? Like 14?
No, this is my first big...
This was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was like maybe... I just moved to London,
yeah.
so I was still pretty green. And yes,
Little boy in a big city.
Exactly. So I said to her, how can I take money out of this card? So she looked it up and found there's like only a handful of cash machines in Tokyo that took this fucking Switch card, and one of them was just round the corner. So I was like, okay.
Yeah,
So I took more money out and went straight back to Super Potato.
Same thing happened again.
I kept a wee stash in my other pocket just to make sure that it didn't happen again. But yeah, I was proper maniac, absolute maniac.
Crazy.
It's
That is
like
amazing.
sending an alcoholic to a brewery.
It basically was. It was like, this guy's obsessed with video games.
At what
let's
point did
put
they
him in a
say,
big
no,
video game
sir,
shop."
we're not giving you any more money?
Yeah.
Clear
You'll
off.
just come back
I'm
here
cutting you off.
with more Mario Pez dispensers.
Good days.
yeah, so that's in other words, but back to the original point, that Titanfall controller looks a bit shit.
Oh yeah.
We didn't even
even
talk about
talk
the
about it.
controllers. I was going to tell you, I've got like a big, because I've moved house quite recently. All of my stuff is like pretty much together. I've got a big crate just full of controllers. The best one's got to be the GameCube keyboard controller. So it's like
for Fantasy Star.
the controller is kind of like it's been the controls have been separated by about a meter or a foot, and there's a keyboard in the middle, and so it's for Fantasy Star Online. It's quite good. It's quite lightweight. You play the game.
I saw everyone losing their shit about this Titanfall controller though.
Yeah, some people it's like it was
controller.
described earlier as a Marmite controller.
Gav, there's not much going on at the
But
moment.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing happening right
It's,
now.
it's just a
quite
novelty
exciting.
that it's the first kind of alternative Xbox One controller.
I think it's going to sell for what? Like, they're not going to charge
Full
Well,
standard
it's
for it.
45
Oh,
quid.
It's
one
standard,
that-
It's $65 they've said, so whatever that is in pounds.
It's 45 quid.
It's
Yeah,
hideous.
it's
The one
crazy.
thing the one controller I did like was, do you see all the people who work for Microsoft get those
The white ones.
the white ones saying like, when, like you thanks, or
I made
you made
this,
this,
yeah.
or I made this, or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, so people tweet about that. That's a controller to get, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not like something with
Yeah.
a bit of yellow paint on it.
The like the day one
day one
bundles
ones, yeah.
that annoys me now because it looks like it's a nice black controller and in the middle it's just got like some beige text that says day one. Every time I see it,
Okay,
I'm
The
like,
ones,
I like
the
that.
ones I brought back from Japan, the first time I went, the Japanese Club Nintendo GameCube pads, the Mario ones,
Oh,
they're quite
yeah.
cool. Because we used to play Mario Kart every lunchtime, so I bought everyone a controller branded as the
Oh,
character
yeah.
they use. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
like we got Mario, Luigi, Wario.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who played as
they're cool.
Wario?
Don't know. I think I dabbled in Wario for a little bit.
Donkey Kong.
Thing
man.
is, it's infuriating because Wario. There's no point using the heavy characters in Mario Kart Wii because they've got higher top speed, but you get spanked on your ass so much in that game that the acceleration just comes down to acceleration.
Yeah.
You're not going to be going long enough in a straight line.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm digressing slightly.
Wario's actually my favorite of the Mario universe characters. Yeah, because he's just basically an ugly
'Cause
troll.
he's a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I love him. So yeah, Titanfall controller. It's ugly. If you want one, go buy one.
Yeah. Well,
If
good for you.
anyone out there says we can't make a conversation out of nothing,
Take a look at this. All right, so another big talking point right now is Steam Early Access. There's not a lot of games out right now officially. Like nothing big being released on Xbox One, PS4, even last gen systems. But there's a lot of stuff coming to early access. Are you guys like looking into early access?
I've used early access,
Not
Gav.
at all, no.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just
I think it's a dirty scam.
well, no, it'll get that way. It's getting a bit cynical.
You present your points to me, and I'll say which one I agree with.
You see, the thing
Why
is,
do you
like,
why do you think it's a dirty scam?
if you buy DayZ, first of all, like early access is a lot of the games on there are kind of unplayable or broken to the point where they shouldn't be available. Like you shouldn't be charging for it. Like DayZ,
Okay.
for example, you go on is about 20 quid or something to buy the early access. On the Steam page, it says this game is in as many words. It says this game is broken. Do not buy this game. If you buy this game, expect to have a really shitty play experience.
Don't come crying to us.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you're putting out these games which are unfinished. You're charging for them first of all, and in my mind, it's like you're polluting the discussion around them. Like if I go into DayZ and I play it for the first time, I'm newbie, don't know really about it, and I keep hearing about this DayZ game. I go in there, buy it. It's not like it doesn't flag it up as early access. It doesn't say, it's not a big red banner flashing.
You're buying it
that
from
says-
something called early access, though.
But like most people will see the pic. But the thing is, like if you go to the front page, it's on the carousel, a big picture of DayZ, and early access is somewhere small written nearby. Most people will see the big picture, click it, and think, yeah, this is the game, I'm buying it. So if you buy that game, it doesn't flag it up as unfinished in any like glaring ways. So if I buy that game as a newbie, play it, and it's completely broken, and then I go around, my impression of that game is like shat on now. It's
yeah, but I
rubbish.
think
And a lot of the games are just unplayable.
but
So
it's
really
called
bad.
early
the
access
whole point of early access, right, is to put these in development games into the hands of players and have them shape the direction of the project.
That's
I mean,
a great
it's
idea.
inspired by Minecraft, basically,
Yeah.
because that's what happened with Minecraft. People
Yeah.
were playing it while it was in development. So stuff like DayZ and stuff like Rust and stuff like Project Zomboid, the idea is it's the very earliest stage of the game's in. You get people in to play it, and they shape the direction that the project goes.
Well,
You
that's fine for
look
that.
at
but you're
the
paying
plus
for
side
it.
of that is that the alternative is you're paying like between 5 and 15 quid to help shape a project. The alternative is to pay 40 quid for a Kickstarter, judging on some
I
words
don't
and some
like Kickstarter either.
screenshots. And the game might come out
Yeah, I
in 2
don't like
years' time and it'll
Kickstarter.
be dog shit, but you've
Yeah.
paid for it. At least this way, you can get in early and you can help shape the project. Like something like the new Bugbear car game that's on there that just
Yeah.
looks
Yeah, next
incredible. It's
car
basically
game,
a
yeah.
tech demo.
Yeah.
But people can go in and say what they want from it and kind of experience the development path as it goes on.
I like
See,
that.
I
idea.
don't like the monetization part of it because there was a time when this used to happen. This happened. This is not a new thing of people being given early access. That's a beta. That's an
Yeah,
alpha.
yeah.
Why does Steam have to charge for it? Like, I
If
pay,
you-
I pay
Business.
Because
plenty
it
of
funds
beta.
it funds the development. It's the
Yeah.
whole idea
Yeah.
of Kickstarter.
But from a
It's not like,
consumer
hey
point
guys,
of
have a freebie. I mean, if you did it for free,
Yeah.
it'd be all negative. It would be come and play an unfinished game, which we know you're going to have negative
Yeah.
thoughts about, and then tell everyone that it's shit. That's not going to go very far along. They need it to fund the project. It is like
Yeah.
a Kickstarter that you play, basically.
Yeah, but it doesn't like.
I like that idea.
I don't know. I just don't like the fact that it's monetized, and I don't like the fact that you could be paying. You're paying for something which is like that's so far out. Like
But
DayZ.
Yeah, but you're
If you
going
buy-
in though, and you're as long as you're going in and you know what you're getting, that's fine. Like if they were saying, "Oh, this is a finished game," and they were tricking people, fair enough. But they're not tricking people.
But it's,
And
it's,
on
it's
top of
really
that-
how's it different from a pre-order that you get to play while it's going on?
I was
And
going
on
to say,
top of
if you buy a game on early access, do you then have to pay for it again when it comes out?
No,
or is
no,
that-
no.
Oh, there you
Right.
go. Well, that's
There's
fine
some
then.
games which it kind of makes sense to me. Like DayZ is one of them. I brought that
Yeah.
up as an example, but it makes sense to me. That's a massive, massive undertaking. But like if you go to Steam early access and Greenlight and stuff like that, it's just full of shit. Like it gives people excuses to make this cobbled together piece of crap and put it out there and say, no, it's early access. It's like it's not that far off from Kickstarter, in which they have this base concept which they can make it sound amazing.
Yeah.
And they just put some small part of it and people will buy it based on the premise, not on the actual execution. And then you've got this shit game which the developers might not be capable of making into the vision that they originally had, and people are giving money to it, not
Yeah.
really
But at least
winning.
people
Do-
get to try it.
At least you get
Yeah,
to
I
see
do,
it,
I do
and then-
prefer early access to Kickstarter. At least with early access, people who do spend money can then say, by the way, this is shit. Whereas with Kickstarter, it is we are basically chucking your money at them and just
We-
hoping
I
that
guess
it
We
ends
should
up being
say,
good.
though, there are signs of cynicism creeping in. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of fuss about Ubisoft sticking Ghost Recon Online on it this week. And that game's been in beta for like 2 years, and they've got crap tons of money, and they don't really need it.
There are some games which it does work for, and is like you can. The lesson from it is be very careful with what you're buying. Like DayZ is good. There's an actual good development team behind it, or a development team that has shipped products. And there's a publisher like Bohemia, I think it is the Armor guys. They've made a few games, and this game is big enough that it's like too big to fail. So they've clearly got incentive to make it good. But like be careful, because you see some games on there that I look at and I'm just like, this is just, if someone pays for this, you know they're going to be disappointed at the end.
Do you think the success of DayZ means there's going to be a lot of other people trying it?
That's
exactly
what's happening.
A DayZ chain, if you will. There we go. Moving on.
Get out of the room, man.
Minecraft.
It's kind of, it comes from modding culture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where they just get people playing it, get it working, get people playing it, and listen, like Counter-Strike, like I think 15 years ago.
I like that. It's like a sort of kickbox scramble thing. That's all the stuff all the stuff I love about Oculus Rift. Like people just developing these crazy ideas and be like, I've been to a couple of like dev meetups with the Oculus Rift stuff where they've got these people just making games in their bedroom and like just chucking them out there. Like some people saying, oh, when's it going to be? When I've witnessed a guy go into him, oh, when can I buy it? And he's like, you've got USB, I'll just fucking give it you now. Like, and they, I just like this idea of this like sort of culture, and it seems like that's sort of what they're going.
That's what it currently is. Maybe that's what I started off, but it seems like the successes, stuff like DayZ, stuff like Rust, is very quickly going to pollute the waters, and it's going to turn into another way for people who want to be exploitative to get money out of people very easily. Like I said, it's like at the moment stuff like Rust is great, but once like the Ubisoft have done it now, I'm not called judgment on it or anything like that, but you can expect that kind of thing happening a lot more, and a lot of the discussions I see about early access are starting to turn on it, and they're like, what is this kind of, this is turning into a weird monster. But at the same time,
Valve's talking about phasing it out already this morning.
We're talking about Greenlight, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, they're talking about Greenlight, I beg your pardon, they are, Greenlight just,
I don't be a bit irrelevant.
It's a total waste of time.
Yeah. It's just turned into like an app store kind of thing now, isn't it? Where it's just all kinds of bollocks all over the place. Like.
See, now that's something to argue about what it will become. Because the quality control on the App Store is obviously garbage, and you can't find anything. That's actually quite scary. The idea of the flood of clones turning up on Steam.
I think I'd be less like hostile towards early access if they made it a little more obvious that you are buying an unfinished. Like I want a big banner that says early access on the game page, so that there's.
Did you buy something by mistake? Is this
no,
what this
not
is about?
really, but I can, no. It's
He's
just
protecting the ignorant.
I can see it happening. Like in my brain, the scenario has played out loads of times where like my younger brother goes on there and sees this thing and he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but people are fucking idiots. Though.
Yeah, but like at a certain point, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like Valve needs to take more steps to show that this is clearly an early access.
Help the idiots.
So idiots will still buy and go, why is it broken?
At this point, like there's enough ambiguity that people could mistakenly buy it. That's what I want to eliminate. Like you shouldn't be buying demos basically and alphas. So yeah,
I don't mind. I like the idea.
Yeah, but I did play DayZ on there. Like I downloaded DayZ and Rust just to try them.
DayZ is like the chat roulette of games.
Yeah, it really is.
I like it.
The thing is, like,
chat roulette or DayZ?
Both. if he could incorporate more chat roulette stuff into DayZ, I'd be at home right now.
The thing is,
wearing something inappropriate.
It's a lot. I like watching DayZ more than like playing it, and I like watching the bits where people have condensed all the gameplay down to a certain event that happens.
It's like basically watching the Big Brother highlight show. You're not going to sit and watch a live feed all day, but I'll watch the half an hour. I'll watch the half an hour where someone who shits in the sink.
Like there's a lot of downtime in between it because I spawned in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. I was like, I have to run across this massive field towards what looks like a hut, and when I got there, it was just a stone. I was like, bollocks. I ran for 20 minutes, like, to get there.
That was a big stone.
Like, I'd watch like that Let's Play just for the pay up at the end. Like, ooh, I can't wait to see what's in this hut. Oh, it's fucking rock.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And then sometimes you'll run across someone.
Maybe I get some beans.
But like, fuck all. It's like, and every so often, you have to, it's one of those, not reminds me, but it's almost like a hipster game. It's like you walk up, you need to try and figure out what happens, like infer stuff. Like I was walking down a road and there was just a couple of dead bodies there, and like the hipster guy would be like, "Oh, there's so much environmental storytelling here." And I was like, "Fuck knows what happened. This guy probably just spawned and got shot, and he just left." I was like, "That is boring as fuck." I didn't get to see that happen.
I've hardly touched it. What's the coolest stuff you can get in the game? Like, you're not just running around looking for B. I mean, is there going to be a dude like running around who's like managed to find endgame rocket launcher or something?
No, there's nothing like that. It's all like emergent storytelling, like the biggest.
So there's no cool loot you can get?
Not really. The loot you can get, like everyone, when I was in there, and all the videos I've seen, is everyone seems to be talking about this Mosin, I think it's called the Mosin Nagant, which is like a sniper rifle, a bog standard sniper rifle. It's DayZ. In DayZ, like, it's mundane to the max. Like, if you get a pistol, you are a baller. Like, you are a bad man. Like,
if you get a Lakers jersey with that pistol,
that's how it is. Like, if you get a pistol, you are a bad man for about an hour until someone
they should put
you.
like vehicles in it. I just want to see the look of the guys running around in their pants thinking they're gods with their little penknives. Then someone rolls around the corner in a Jeep they found.
It's all about story. Like the biggest, like the most impressive...
It's making your own fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
the most impressive story was that I've read about it was the story of the newbie who spawned. He spawned on a beach, and immediately a gang rolled up on him, like fully armed, and they walked up to him. They're like, on your knees, and if you press like F4, you get on your knees and you put your hands behind your back, and they basically turn him into a slave. They turn him into a scout, and they were like, what we've got the sniper. He's always going to be trained on you. If you move, you are dead. If you do anything other than what we tell you to, we will shoot you. And then what they did was they went around to like encampments.
A road.
Yeah, they went around into encampments and like different fortifications, and they used him as a scout because he's a newbie. They'd send him in, and then they tell him, look,
just in his pants.
See, tell us who's there, how many people are there, what resources they have. And then come back, and then he'd scout.
But
if
you die as a newbie, don't you just spawn again as a newbie?
You spawn as a newbie, yeah. But this
you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, but
I'll just go in. I'll scout it. Go in there, find an axe.
In this scenario, he was like,
out.
in this scenario, he was like, I'm just going to see where this goes. So he was kind of like seeing how far it goes, and eventually, like they used him as a scout. He would go in, like check it out, come back, report back, and they'd weigh up whether they want to storm it and see if they can take it over. And eventually, he did it for long enough that they let him become one of the gang, and then they found another newbie, and they started basically doing it to him, and it's shit like that. And there's like
stonecutters.
Yeah. And it's just like the emergency. Like, have you seen the firefighter one?
Yeah.
There's like a video of a
awesome.
guy who's like he runs into another guy, and the guy is like taking him at gunpoint, and he's looking through his stuff and robbing him, and out of the corner, all you see is this guy, normal guy with a fire extinguisher, come running in like, get the hell away from him.
Going,
yeah.
Get away from him!
Get away from him! And he's just like, oh, dude.
It's like Benny Hill for the next like 5 minutes. He's
like
chasing him with a fire extinguisher.
And this guy doesn't want to shoot him. He's like, he thinks like he's mental or something. He's like, look, I don't want to shoot you. And this firefighter, he's basically like a vigilante. He calls himself the firefighter. And then he'll rescue people and then just run off into the distance with his...
I love how at the end when they finally take the guy out, he's like, oh, thank you so much. He's like, it's no problem for a firefighter like me.
I love
that. And then he looks up into the sky and he goes, away, and he runs off.
See, that's the kind of stuff I like.
But the thing is, it will take you about 5 hours to get to that.
Yeah, to find a fire extinguisher.
Bits and bobs are few and far between, but I quite like the idea of walking around and making your own lore, making your own fun and stuff like that.
If you want that kind of experience, I can tell you a way to kind of increases the chances. Increase the chances of running into stuff like that. And it's such a horrible thing, and it explains, like, it describes what kind of people are playing it. And be a woman. Yeah. Pick the female character. And then just go around in the world, and you attract way more attention than I think you would like.
Especially with a man's voice.
Because I picked the female. I picked the female, and at one point I had like 3 guys just following me for no reason, no reason whatsoever.
What's wrong with this world, man? Do you think there's people still working on PlayStation Home?
No, it's
There's an update. There's an update on it. Yeah,
it's really good. Like, no,
is it actually?
It's not really good.
You guys joke, but PlayStation Home's going to be awesome when they turn the permadeath on.
Yeah.
We should look.
They need to do like
quick, let's all meet up in the wipeout zone.
I'm going to load up PlayStation Home tonight and see what the situation is, because the last time I tried it was when
about 10 years.
It's still in beta, is it not?
I think so.
It never came out
They're
in
actually
beta.
gonna put it on early
It went the entire life of the PlayStation 3 in beta.
I'll save
it never
you,
came
I'll
out in
save you
beta.
several hours. This is how you're going to go if you to go home and you turn it on. It's going to go updating.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
going to stay doing that for like 12
Forever.
hours.
But
And you go in and it tries to load the like a Desolation of Smaug trailer in your living room for about 4 hours. Like, yeah, it's so immersive.
they talked it up as a big like revenue stream for them, didn't they, for a while back?
Looks
They were saying
fucking
it
idiots
was-
buying
yeah.
baseball caps for like
Yeah.
£8 and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's mental.
So that's the people you need to be worried about, not people who are downloading stuff on early access, like by
Yeah.
mistake, or like going, "Oh, this isn't finished games." People
Yeah.
buying like a T-shirt in PlayStation Home for £12.
Yeah, I've got a fucking Sackboy mask. It cost me 12 grand. Enjoy.
No, jeez. You gonna say something there, Andy?
I was going to... So, you know DayZ, right? So
Mm.
we were on the subject of that, the permadeath thing.
Mm.
In every game that's got permadeath, there's a point where it just becomes not fun. Like I used to
Yeah.
play Star Wars Galaxies, and there was like the end game character was a Jedi character, and there was only 3 on each server. So they're ultra rare, but they had permadeath,
Mm.
and it was just like it seemed like such an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Like the most powerful character on the server would have to, look after himself because he's got permadeath. But
Yeah.
it comes to a point where it's not fun, and they did reinvent the whole game. They changed it.
Yeah.
At what point have you been playing DayZ for like 40 hours and you've got awesome stuff? I mean, stuff like spawning into the game, what protections they give you from like, I've just spawned like next to a bear cave or something.
There's no bears in the game.
I know.
like, as far as I know.
But you
Zombie
see my
cave.
point.
Yeah.
What protection do they give you?
I think you can like. I think once you log out, once you save a character and log out, you're safe.
I mean, is
Like,
there like a timed period of invincibility or what?
not really?
Because in any online game, if you're just spawning into the
No,
world, you do that over the course of a couple of weeks. One
You
time you're going to
eventually-
spawn and die.
No, I think I played it across 2 sessions, and each time I started fresh with a new character because the character before got horribly murdered. But
By
I
a
think
person or
by a person.
Are there actually any
one guy
zombies
ran you
in
off
this
a cliff.
game? Like,
Yeah,
I've never heard anyone
Yeah,
talk
I haven't
about
seen a
any
zombie in
zombies
any
the game
YouTube,
at
yeah.
that's a
all.
good point actually.
Yeah.
They are. Wait, no, that's Rust actually. I think. Yeah, I've never seen a zombie in the
Should
game.
it just be called Day H because it's full of humans?
Day troll.
I think
Yeah.
how it works is
When
when
you
you
Day PC Gamer seems to be the only ones playing it.
I think when you log out, you're safe. You've saved all your stuff and you're cool and you're done. But you never reach a point where you're like a badass. You're always fearful
always
that
a
someone's
badass.
gonna
Yeah.
shoot you
It does
in the
not
back
compute.
and take. That's part of the charm. Like once you've got these rudimentary items, you're basically at the top of the food chain. But anyone else could gang up and kill you, and there's nothing to protect you from that. So if you spawn in the middle of like a firefight, which I don't know if they have protection against that, I don't think there's any way they can stop it. I don't think they care.
Fuck.
Yeah. But there's never ever a firefight. It's like people running at each other trying to throw punches and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like I've never seen an actual firefight. I've just seen the aftermath of a
We
firefight.
should try and do this podcast
In DayZ.
DayZ.
That's not a bad idea.
See how
That's
that
quite
goes.
funny.
Shit.
It's like I played Rust is a similar game, which is supposed to be like more Minecraft-ish, where you're crafting stuff and stuff like that. And it was a very similar experience. I appeared with just my pants on, got lured into a hut. I was telling these guys earlier, I got like some guy was in the distance and he was wearing just pants as well. I thought newbie, definitely newbie. And he was like, "Hey man," I was like, "Hey, typing." He was speaking over the microphone. I was typing. And I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a newbie. Do you wanna team up?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Did he make you touch? Where did he make you touch?
He
it?
was like, "Oh, check out this hut I found."
Show me on the doll where he touched you.
And he goes, "Check out this hut I found." And was like, check it out from the inside.
Fritzl
So,
dungeon.
so I went in there. I went into the hut, and I heard the door close behind me. And I
Oh.
turned around, and he had a little hatchet, and he
Oh.
just murdered me in the
Oh,
hut.
prick.
I was a dead man.
What did you say?
But then what
Oh,
are you?
you
What was
nothing,
it? What
yeah.
is it? So he
Ouch.
murdered you and what then took your pants?
Nothing.
what's
No,
the-
he just wanted to do that.
All right.
That's what happens.
Oh,
I like that.
It was
So
weird. Like I found
psychos.
this massive like castle fortress, wooden fortress thing, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I walked in there. There was absolutely nothing in there. It's just a structure. So I'm walking around and I see this other guy walking up. I was like, "Oh, I thought, yeah, he's probably going to want to explore as well." I'm very like jovial about it. I was like, yeah, come in. He came in
Just
and
want
immediately
friends, don't
just
you?
started running behind me and punching me in the back. I was like, "Fuck off, man. I'm just trying to look around." Like I wasn't even engaging him. I thought if I leave him, he's just going to leave me alone. No, he chased me and he beat the shit out of me for no reason.
And you see
I was
like
like-
Tamoor just walking through these games with the Incredible Hulk music, like, doo-doo-doo-doo, trying to get
thing
friends. Everyone's fucking you up.
Everyone's running up like Nicolas Cage in the Working Man, just going, "Oh, it's fucking one."
I didn't
One-
understand why you'd want to
punch
because I
knockout.
have
Oh.
nothing. I've got nothing. It's honestly, it would be a waste of time to
Some
kill a
people just
newbie.
want to watch the world burn, man.
Like the immediate thing for this guy. He was a newbie as well. He just like spawned. It's like, why would you fight me?
Fucking mugged you off, isn't he?
Like, why would you fight me? I was just like, I'm just gonna see how much of this world as I can before. I was not in I didn't want to fight anyone. I just want to look around, man. Fucking hell. But those are my experiences with those types of games. So yeah, I don't think I'll go back to DayZ for a while. I'm waiting for it to be more stable because it was buggy and laggy and I was falling
zombies
through the world. There was no zombies, and people were running through houses like just straight through the models.
That seems like there are actually zombies in DayZ, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think they come out at night or something.
I don't think we
say,
could get away with calling it
doesn't this
DayZ.
whole, we're talking about the whole, doesn't this whole infrastructure of the game, doesn't it all rely upon the fact that there's some zombies out there that will kill you?
That's what they
People
started.
would stop trolling each other as much if they were going to be stronger by working together.
That's what it started off as, and then eventually they realized that it turned into a human drama thing where the zombies, no one even cares about the zombies anymore.
It's
But
like
we
you
also
don't
like
see
6
him.
weeks down the line, like those people are going, guys, when was the last time I ever fucking saw a zombie? Right?
It would be awesome if
It's just taking the zombies out of the game. No one's
It'd
noticed.
be awesome if there was like a world event and there was like a massive zombie, a proper apocalypse where they just gathered and just flooded the entire server with zombies and they had to fight like DayZ. Well, what's the new zombie movie? World War Z style.
Oh,
where
right,
just
yeah.
like a wave of zombies falling over each other, tidal wave.
It's good though. It reminds me of sort of like early Walking Dead, like the comics. Like, because you in those you didn't see a comic, you didn't see a zombie for issues and issues and issues. Like it sort of reminds me of that. Like you sort of you get so involved in the other stuff that's going on. When a zombie comes in, you'd be like, holy shit, fuck, I forgot there's fucking zombies in this game. Like, and it's the same with the early Walking Dead. You just go, oh, like everyone's arguing about, cheating on each other and stuff like that so much. They just go, oh shit, yeah, there's a zombie over there.
Yeah, but based on my experience, the human drama element of DayZ is naked dudes
People just
punching
mugging you off for the sounds of things.
Exactly. So it's not at all like early Walking Dead. There's no like complex characters. It's just dudes in pants throwing fists.
you up.
I do remember that great episode of The Walking Dead where they walk for 20 minutes to find a stone.
Fucking hell, there's like worse shit happening than that in the second series. So you're looking for that little girl for about half the series. And it's like, oh yeah, she's a zombie. Great.
Oh, she's in the barn.
Yeah. What else we got?
So that's early access. Like I said earlier, there's not much going on like in release wise this month, but there's some quite big games coming out next month, and we've got a short list here, handily compiled by Andy, which includes Tomb Raider, Fable Anniversary, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Rayman Legends.
I can't believe you're dissing Dr. Luigi like that.
Thief,
no big releases.
Dr. Luigi, Lightning Returns, Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare, and Castlevania. So I
Wolf
wanted
Among
to-
Us.
I want to know what you're excited about. So Wolf Among Us.
Definitely
that finally
Wolf Among
got
Us,
a release date.
Yeah,
or a
and
release window.
But did you see? So they said it's going to come out the early February. There was some really cryptic
Yeah.
lines from Telltale about it. They were like, "Oh, we won't go into it, but
Yeah.
the reason it's been so long, because was it like November last time?
Yeah.
last year, October,
It's been a
November.
good few months.
Like it's been ages, and they've obviously released the second chapter of Walking Dead as well, which I was not excited about at all. I was way more excited about Wolf Among Us now. Like, and it was an awesome first chapter as well. I thought it was really really good.
Yeah, it was excellent.
But yeah, it was a really sort of weird wording. They were like, "We're really sorry this taking so long.
I'm
Won't
gonna
take so
bring it
long
up.
next time." But yeah, some things happened.
It's like he was almost like told to just pretend there's a problem.
Do you think?
And just like that's what it read like. It was like we've had a big problem. It's
Yeah.
this is the only time this problem is going to happen, and we're
Okay.
not going to tell you what the problem was.
Right.
It's like
We all went away for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all drank a shitload of sherry. And we forgot how to make games. But yeah, I'm well excited for that. I thought the first...
He said, "This is one of those occasions where several things conspired against us. I won't dive into the details, but it's been an unusual and specific set of circumstances, and we do not anticipate it happening again as we go forward with the rest of the season."
For 11 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas party day.
That's
Explain
weird,
it,
isn't
explain
it?
it.
That's a really
But yeah,
strange...
it's very
Conspired
strange
is always a dodgy word to use.
Yeah. That's what I like about Telltale. Like they're still quite a small sort of, even though they're huge.
I'm
they're
worried
still
about
quite
them.
operations.
I thought you were gonna say-
I'm really,
Yeah.
really worried about them because when I care about a few of their properties like Game of Thrones, Wolf Among Us,
Yeah.
Fables, and Walking Dead, and I keep seeing them taking on additional projects, and it's like
But they've definitely got a B team, right? The guys who do like Jurassic Park,
Park
and stuff.
Yeah.
stuff like
Oh,
that. But I
yeah.
don't know if that is their A team because when they were working on Jurassic Park and
That's
Back to the
18, yeah,
Future.
fuck, man.
Back to the Future, they weren't really working on anything else at the time. Those were the big things.
Yeah.
So Back to the Future. So that might be their A team working on it. And then
Back to the
they
Future's good,
realized
though.
It started off really well, and then it went like it's not great after that. But I'm worried
fair play to them for even making the press releases like puzzles though. Because that's just fucking try to figure out what they're talking about. It's just like point and click.
I like them as a studio though. I think the stuff they're going after is really, really good. I think Game of Thrones will be huge for them, like absolutely massive.
But
it's a really smart business plan. It's it's an interesting talking point actually about how 10, 15 years ago games the charts would have been dominated by licensed crap basically. Whereas because the bottom fell out of that market so spectacularly, you can now pick up like older film and comic licenses for like nothing, cheap, absolutely nothing. It's like the easiest thing you'll ever do. Oh, man, like there was a game on XBLA. It was based on. Do you remember that film? Was it Battlefield LA?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there was a game based on that.
Yeah, there's a game. They made it in 6 months. It was a couple of hours long, like FPS. It was sort of alright. Like, it was nothing special. Put it on XBLA, and it made more money than like Trine and all these big releases. Just because it was a license, just picked it up for nothing, pumped out a game.
There was an interesting strategy behind that. You explained this to me a while back in terms of it was used by the studio. It was made by the studio that went and did Halo Anniversary, wasn't it? And they used that as a kind of like testing grounds for their technology. Was that it?
Well, I'd like to see what people who made. I'd like to see what the people who made the Pacific Rim game end up doing, because that was fucking dog shit. Yeah. Did you play that one?
I like the idea of Telltale though, like sort of taking this like license thing. It's almost like interesting what they did with the Lego games, and like Lego games have become like some awesome sort of movie tie-ins.
I mean, just to prove my point now, I mean, 10, 15 years ago, EA, like the biggest players, EA and Activision would be like, you know, arm wrestling over James Bond. Whereas I reckon Telltale could probably pick that up for Bugger now. Oh, did they actually say that?
Yeah,
they want to do Bond.
Just how the bottom has fallen out. Stuff like that would have been massive in the early 2000s, like Harry Potter as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like they very
Harry Potter's a really good one as well, because you've obviously got all the books and stuff to work from, and they seems to, they're quite good with the source material.
It seems like
them doing an X-Files game, that would be
they're very. What I like about them,
I could get the X-Files license as well.
What I like about them,
I just on like this week's salary.
They're obviously very selective about what they pick thus far. Like they pick this licenses and franchise that make a lot of sense. The only anomaly is Borderlands. That's the one. I think. What are they doing? I feel like that seems like such a silly move, because firstly, that world, like, who cares about anything happening in that world?
I do.
Borderlands.
Part of me likes,
like, you're really looking forward to an episodic game with Claptrap all up in your face.
Not Claptrap, but like going to like Moxie's bar and stuff like that. Some of the characters and stuff that you meet just along the way, just for like a little fetch quest. Like some of them, I'd like to see way more of. Like
part of me also
living
likes
out in the motel by himself, like the guy living in. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good.
I don't know. I don't think, like, I don't know how much I care about like the world of Borderlands as much as I've got a gun with green.
Seems that the world of Borderlands, I know some of the characters in it are really funny, but it seems like a means to an end, you know? Like
at the same time,
just a world built around, like,
exactly.
We need to have some quests and shooting some dudes and lots of guns. So we should probably put some.
But at the same time, they could be the guys that come there and turn it into an actual big thing, like a proper good world. Put some real stories in there.
I play Borderlands 2 more for just meeting characters and stuff like that than I did for playing the game, I think.
Wow. I'm not one of those people. I think I just like this.
I thought it was a good move from them, because I thought, like, you don't get to spend enough time with them. I thought that was really, really good. And it's one of those worlds as well where there's enough source material. This is why I guess they're going after stuff like Game of Thrones and stuff like, comics that have been going for a while, because there's enough that they can take from the comics. Although they take huge liberties as well, like, like
Telltale have always got a screw up in their bag though. One of those they're gonna arse up.
Yeah, that's my problem. They've got so many of them. One of them has to.
Did you play any of their earlier stuff? Like I say earlier, like this generation, like the strong bad one, and
I played Strong Bad. And Strong Bad.
Tales from Monkey Island, the Wallace and Gromit one on XBLA. They've been doing. There's an XBLA Wallace and Gromit one. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that they've got so many franchises.
It's going to be Game of Thrones when they fuck up, I think.
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, that's the one they should be definitely not fucking up.
The thing is, I reckon there's probably, from a business perspective, there's probably more riding on the Borderlands one, where Gearbox and their brand would stand to lose more if the game turned out to be rubbish, right? Whereas people are going to buy the Game of Thrones one, even if it is sort of all right.
Yeah. But Fables is excellent. One episode is awesome. And I'm absolutely loving it. It's so good.
Well, that's the thing. I absolutely love Walking Dead, but one episode of Fables in, I completely, I couldn't care less.
It takes the entire, like, the beats from the interesting moments from Walking Dead and condenses it all into one episode where you're not waiting loads and loads of time for this one significant thing to happen. Every single scene has something incredibly significant happen because it's all about solving a mystery, isn't it? So every scene you play and every environment you walk through, there's always some progression happening to it, and it's really cool.
Like I thought it was really good, and I thought like the look and feel was awesome. The soundtrack is brilliant as well, and the voice acting was really, really good. But the one thing that I did think I didn't quite. I spoke to loads of people who'd played it afterwards. Have you guys played it? It's good. You should play it. But I spoke to loads of people afterwards, and it felt to me, I was like, oh shit, I've never felt like I'd messed up more in a game, because it was like because basically a murder has happened, you're solving the murder, and like it asks you in a really, really early point, who do you suspect? And it flags up like 5 different characters, 3 of which you haven't even met yet. So I remember speaking like Aoife on OXM, who'd done the review, and I was like, and I actually played through a couple of times, and I was like, oh, did I really fuck up then? Why haven't I met Blackbeard? And she was like, yeah, you don't meet Blackbeard. It's like, well, why would I suspect him then? Like,
it does. It kind of assumes that you have knowledge of fables.
It does, definitely,
it does a lot, but that doesn't.
That doesn't happen with Walking Dead at all, I don't think.
That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it.
No, definitely
not.
Because
the Blackbeard stuff, they reference Blackbeard, but you don't see him.
A tiny bit,
They talk about him and they kind of speak about him in this kind of, he's clearly not a good guy kind of way. So it's just kind of planting the idea that maybe it's someone that we haven't. Bluebeard, sorry. I've been playing too much Assassins, so I just want to...
I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't like, Andy, you didn't like Walking Dead, did you?
No, I couldn't get into it.
You should try Wolf Among Us. You might like that. I think you would like it. It's a lot, like I said.
This is what you're talking about there. Do you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking, LA Noir's quite good, isn't it?
It's got a very similar vibe to it. Like,
but it's just missing all the stuff that keeps you amused when things are boring.
It's
like,
quite
I can
dark.
run into things and drive a car.
I'm always find myself tempted. I always go to PSN store and see the Jurassic Park game and always think one day because it's Jurassic Park, and I know it's not meant to be very good, but just my thumb hovers over the X button to buy it, and then I don't. But one day I'm going to end up doing it.
As full circle about gaming tat though, that is the best gaming tat thing I've got for that Jurassic Park game. When Ingham was still here, he went to see it at E3 and gave me the press kit. Came in a Barbasol can, like the shaving Nedry gas.
That's awesome.
And you take the top off, and it's got the USB stick and you plug in.
Awesome.
And he gave me the can. That's the best bit.
Did you lose it in a stream?
Yeah. I don't fucking look like Nedry. I've lost some weight there.
But yeah, I think it's worth checking out A Wolf Among Us, because
it's awesome, man.
It takes concepts that you're very familiar with, like, you know, Big Bad Wolf and these kind of things, and really twists.
I think it just says more about me than it does about the game, to be honest. Like, I needed more than the narrative to grip me. Like, I've actually tried a couple of times to get into Walking Dead just because of the amount of praise it gets from everyone. And the bits in between, the branching kind of conversations and stuff is just where it lost me. Like where at the beginning you're on the farm and it's like, go on then, walk around and speak to people. It's like I might as well be going through some menus.
See the difference.
It's just like you're in. There's no. The world isn't dynamic in the slightest, you know. You're just moving an avatar.
The difference
through
with Wolf Among Us is
Yeah.
all of these conversations that you have, unlike in Walking Dead, where it's just you're just doing it for emotions and that kind of thing. All of them, because you're trying to solve a murder and everyone's kind of a suspect. You kind of pay more attention to them and you're looking into what they're saying a little more. So like you're trying to figure out, what is this person saying? Are they really telling the truth?
It was like the linear stuff that lost me, right?
Yeah.
Whereas it would have been fine if I was just kept in the moment all the time and I could just screw up and it'd branch another way, you know?
I feel like all the conversations are more meaningful in Walking Dead, in Wolf Among Us, because it's either contributing to creating the world or contributing to, you know, your core goal, which is solving the murder.
What you should do with Walking Dead, Andy, is play it on a Sunday, like hungover, like start it, but with somebody. Like I will play, and especially play with somebody who's not really into games, because that's what I did with.
That's
Walking
what I did
Dead.
with LA Noir. Yeah, it was awesome.
Because they like you get more involved together and stuff like that. Then, and
so that's what Gav's excited about.
Yeah.
Chris, what are you excited about for next month? You're quite a big Tomb Raider
Lightning
guy.
Returns, isn't it?
No, it's probably Tomb Raider for me.
Yeah.
I thought
Why?
I don't know.
old game.
I know, but it's one of my favorite games of the last.
You know, they released a
generation,
video
so-
of it yesterday.
It looks nice.
That does not look like what I saw. When I looked at
Really?
it, when I looked at it, I was like, that looks markedly better than what I saw.
Was it a different section or something?
When
no,
did
it
you
was
see
it was similar bits. Like I played it for a preview a couple of weeks back,
Okay.
and it looked way better than it is.
Are
It
you
was
accusing them of
suspiciously
doctoring
better.
their footage, Tamoor? It sounds
Maybe.
like that's what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say. Maybe it was just
Slander.
a different build of it. But when I saw it, I was like, I could barely tell the difference. When I saw that, her face looked well different.
Is it?
as
Was
well.
it just because they were putting them side by side? I mean, when you
No,
played it,
I
you
don't
didn't
think
have
so.
the last gen version sat there.
I could not. I noticed small things, but it looked like.
Let's be honest. I mean, I played through. I've just played through Black Flag recently on PS4, and you know, in my mind, I'm looking and going, well, I wonder what the last gen version looks like, you know. But
Yeah,
I bet if you did put them side by side, you'd be like, yeah, this is a shit ton better looking.
Maybe it is that.
I
but
don't know though. I played the
thought
360 version of Black Flag. Looks fucking gorgeous as well. Like I don't think there's that much difference between them.
the PS4
probably
one looks
is,
really
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Apart from like, there's occasional bits where stuff goes really, really, really wrong. Like I was in the middle of a really important like cutscene in game engine, and in the background there's like a group of people, and they're just walking around in small circles, concentric, like just all together in a circle. It looked like some sort of synchronized dance thing. So this is really weird. It's distracting. It's taking all the like dramatism out of all this shit that's going on.
I had a
in front.
guy stuck on my boat when I played the preview thing. I had a guy, you know, like one of the guys overboard. You can say, I thought, I'll go into him, get him. Like drove into him, but he was stuck like right in the middle of my boat. So he was just like his arms and his legs just kicking, like as if he was still underwater. But I could just drive him around. So he was like had him like one of those little statue things on the front of my boat. And he's like, whoa! And every now and again you just hear, woo!
There's a bit where when you board someone, you board someone's ship, you fight them. And one of the assassinations I did, I was boarding someone and it's like kill this captain guy.
Yeah.
And if you're standing next to the edge of the boat, he does this like punch and he does like a push kick where he'll kick them like away from you, and that counts as assassination. But I did it at a point where there was a break in the like the barrier around it, so it was just like to the sea, and he booted him and he went flying off it like into the distance. I was waiting for it to go bing. He just went miles. I was like, that was dramatic. And the funny thing is, in the next cutscene, it fades to black as it's happening.
His
And
body's
then
in.
he's on the floor and you're speaking to him. And I was like, no, you just kicked him into space. There's no way you can speak to him. But yeah, Andy, what are you excited about next month?
Valentine's Day. What's coming out again? FIFA will be quite good. I'm looking forward to that. Well, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. We're actually Dan Griliopoulos, who contributes quite a bit for us,
Started
is
new
off
PC
playing
Games
it today. He's playing it for 5 hours.
For review?
No.
Oh,
So it's kind of like the final hands-on. So we'll find out whether it's crap or not. Because that's quite interesting. It's out in like 4 weeks or something. And
yeah, that's
we've not really seen
That's
much of it.
You
But-
think alarm bells ringing slightly?
Oh, I don't know. I like the idea they're making it. I loved Deus Ex.
How much of Dishonored did we see before that game came out? I don't remember
Exactly.
it being-
Yeah, that's a good
I've
point,
not
yeah.
given up on it yet. I think it could be a big surprise gem. I'm looking forward to playing it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong, I'm looking forward to playing.
Yeah,
Yeah, Donkey
I
Kong.
picked up Donkey Kong in Nintendo's crazy
the
Click
5-minute sale.
Yeah, I did that, and I've been playing it for the last few days. It's good
good,
fun,
isn't
that game. I really like the lack of pressure. Like, there's no time on the levels, like whereas in Mario 3D
It's
World,
nows as well.
yeah,
utterly
it's
nows.
a lot easier.
It's
in
easy
the
on
3DS.
3DS.
You play noob
yeah.
mode.
I wasn't
They
paying
put
attention.
in- they
they
put
put
in
in
noob,
lives
yeah.
and stuff, or
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
can take damage. But I was just hitting go, and it just selected it.
It was
But
solid on Wii.
Yeah, it was difficult on
so
the Wii.
Insane.
hard. Like
Yeah.
to the point where it was like I was on like the third level and I was like, I have to be able to get past this. Surely. It was so
Have a little
hard,
cry.
man.
Yeah, because I played
Talking about that Nintendo sale though, what do you think about that?
that was
Do you think
you
it
know
was
what?
a genuine mistake? Or-
For
Well,
people
it
for people
was.
who missed it
No.
because we didn't cover it because it
Okay.
was over so quickly.
Yeah.
Basically, people on Twitter suddenly noticed that Nintendo were selling off the likes of Animal Crossing and Donkey Kong
Wonderful
Country Returns,
101,
Wonderful 101 for
Pikmin
like
3.
for like $7.99
£8,
and
£7.99,
$8.99 on their sale, the download codes. So everyone just jumped on and went and totally rinsed it.
Yeah.
And then within 20 minutes, half an hour, Nintendo
Went
put all the
down.
prices back. It was clearly a mistake.
It was a mistake,
Yeah.
but it
But
probably
it should-
shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
should be a call, like that should be their sign.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what we
hoping-
should do.
I'm hoping
that's
someone
what leads me
somewhere-
to think that it's not a mistake. That someone's gone, look, I've got this idea. Let's just see if we get some interest.
Because I'm
out of
hoping
it.
I've been playing the scenario out in my mind that in Japan someone's going fucking mental saying this is a because it was Nintendo somewhere in Nintendo Europe must have
Yeah.
put a Switch and said I can't believe you've done this blah 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 and then sat and having to think about it and said actually, when you look at these figures, when you look at these
more Japanese, that's not.
See, actually, when you look at these figures, there's a fucking massive spike in that half an hour period. If we extended that over a week, we'd actually probably do it right out of it.
I was gonna say they are all Nintendo games, but they only sell Nintendo games on the Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's gonna have a whole another podcast of rant if we get into this too much. But it's kind of baffling that they don't have their own PS Plus alternative anyway. Because they would shift some machines if they were giving away free games.
PS Plus is just incredible. I've only recently just got a Vita, and it's just like. You really take advantage of it then.
Like, maybe there's some reason that Nintendo don't do it. I mean, it's not as if they've got like a particularly large back catalogue, is it?
Do Microsoft's chance very like
PS Plus
Halo 3?
It's amazing.
It's not as if they've got like 30 years of classic games that they enjoy selling again and again.
Well, it's like I was saying in last week's one. I don't know if you heard last week's one. I was saying Nintendo should introduce a Netflix style, but not like a Netflix, like the same service that they did with the karaoke thing and the sports thing, where you pay say a $5 for 24 hours access to their entire virtual console catalogue. So if you want to have like a retro night with your mates or whatever, because you're not going to spend £4 on Balloon Fight and play it forever. You give them a $5 and you get 24 hours.
I've bought Balloon Fight more times than I care to reveal.
Yeah,
that's because you just like supporting your water.
Yeah.
But PlayStation Plus is amazing, but at the same time, personally, I think it's stopping me from actually buying their games, because I never what was their Tearaway? I'm not buying.
It'll be on PS Plus later.
Yeah, I'm not buying Tearaway because I know it's going to appear on PS Plus.
You know for a
soon.
fact, NAC is 3 months down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they're particularly bothered though, because they'll be getting the regular income.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so my big games for next month are Thief as well, which I love stealth games, and obviously that one's all about stealth. But also Castlevania, Lords of Shadow 2. That's going to be
under the radar,
yeah, that's huge. It looks, based on the previews, it looks amazing. It looks really good. If the last one, if you haven't played it, is well worth tracking down. It's the only.
Maybe it's the time of year, because we're not hearing anything about these games.
I'll tell you what, I'm quite looking forward to, which I might get scolded for. I reckon that Plants vs Zombies shooter looks quite good.
When's that out?
It's out next month. I mean, watch some videos, right? I mean, because I wasn't really, looking forward to it. It wasn't really on my radar. But I watched some of the recent gameplay footage and I thought, that looks all right. Like, I mean, it's a pretty generic shooter, deathmatch online shooter in terms of structure. But the presentation's so, kind of different. That it's almost just like a pleasant conduit to get you back into something that looks quite enjoyable. Like, there's lots of different character classes and they're like bonkers zombies.
Yeah, it does look
one of them's got like a dolphin gun that shoots at fish.
I tell you what I don't understand.
When it shoots, it goes. Nah.
I tell you what I don't understand. It's not a major thing, but Russell Brand clearly does a voice in it. When they showed the trailer at E3, and considering how much he was in the news, like the last couple of months when he was talking about you shouldn't vote and all this kind of stuff, that was the perfect time to EA.
Yeah, it sounds like I remember when they announced it.
But when they announced it, the guy said, "You may recognize the voice," and then it was like, "That's fucking Russell Brand." I can tell instantly that's Russell Brand. Because I listen to his podcast and all that, like religiously. Well, that is definitely Russell Brand, and they've just not fucking done it. It's like. Who else?
That's the only explanation for them not saying it.
Yeah, I don't know who if it's not, it's someone doing.
Well, maybe it's the fact because he was in the news talking about how no one should vote for anyone and that stuff. So maybe they were like, oh, maybe we shouldn't announce that he's.
I would have thought that'd be the perfect time to do it while he's in the public eye. Well, by the way, he's in our game.
But that's the thing, though. He's not in the public eye for anything.
Yeah, nothing good. He's not.
No, he's. I mean, it depends.
Well, he's got his
but it depends on which way you look at it.
Yeah.
Like he's either he's either amazing or he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So they, if they go,
it's like it's not full price either. That game, I think it's like what 20-30 quid or 30-40 quid.
And if it comes out and it's good, it will probably.
I reckon that might be a little sleeper hit, especially if it gets cheaper and cheaper. I think it looks quite cool.
Based on the current stability of other AAA shooters, if that comes out and it works on day one and it's half decent, it'll probably be the best first-person shooter next gen on the market. Because Battlefield is utterly fucked, and Call of Duty is boring as hell. So
is it first person or is it third person?
Is it third person?
It's third person shooter.
Yeah.
Oh, shooter.
Yeah,
they're all the same. Shooty, bang bangs. But yeah, it'll probably be one of the I think it might actually be a good.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it does look decent.
It reminds me of Team Fortress.
It does.
It's very it makes sense. Class-based shooter. You get these different classes of plants and zombies, and you're good to go.
Sold.
Yeah. So that's your big game for next month as well. Then
big game.
Oh, it's one of the things. It could be the sleeper hit.
Fairly pleasant about the idea of it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's going to come to like I'm looking forward for the lull to come to an end now. I want to play some games. I'm done with it.
Well, we've also, don't forget, we've also got Last of Us DLC next month.
Oh yeah,
as well.
is that next month?
14th of February.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
we've confirmed it for Valentine's
I
Day.
have to plug my PS3 in
All
again.
right, my missus isn't going out at all then.
She's gonna sit at
Dress
home
yourself up,
and
darling.
watch you.
You're going out.
She's gonna still watch you get depressed playing this
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic game.
with that, I can't remember
With-
his name. The bloody soundtrack just strings.
Yeah.
Dun,
Gustavo
dun,
something.
dun.
But yeah, I think that wraps up our podcast for today. Thank you for joining us, Gav.
It's all right. It's good, isn't it?
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it's really fun.
You don't look convinced.
No, it was really good fun. I like that. Like talking about games.
Will you be making a return soon?
If you'll have me, yes.
We will not have you. But thank you.
Put it
for
out there and take it away.
Thank you for joining us. Please follow us on Twitter at CVG_news. Visit our website, cvg.co.uk. You can find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Gav, what's your Twitter? Follow me.
At Cymrogav, CYMROGAV.
Just search for Gavin Murphy in the search
Yeah.
box.
It's
Welsh. Welsh Gav.
Freaky
CYMRO.
deaky.
Yeah. Chris is
Cheery.
Scully 1888.
Yep.
Andy is SBO1, and I am at Tamoor H.
Yay.
We'll see you on the Twitters. Bye.
Byes.